Welcome back, everyone. Coming off an episode where we made some big moves, some wheeling and dealing was done. We are still hovering right around 500, starting our episode off looking for a series win in Kansas City. Got Tarik Skubal, who's been our best pitcher this year, taking the hill. Comes in with a 5-1 record and 2.33 ERA. It's really been lights out most of the year. And we see our new starting second baseman, Zach Neto, leading off. Acquired from the Angels in exchange for Alex Lang, Michael Lorenzen, and Jace Young. We also shipped out Eduardo Rodriguez and got back a prospect in return, so trying to build for the future, but also in the case of Zach Neto, the present as well. Neto's more run down than pretty much anyone else, so I'll give him the day off from the field. He'll designate hit. It's not really a phrase that we say, but he'll be the designated hitter. And then just even looking at this bench right now, I think I need to send somebody down and bring up a pitcher. And honestly, Cabrera is the answer. He plays one position. He does not play it well. He's hitting under 200. He's got a bloated contract, which isn't really necessarily relevant for what he's doing or not doing on the field. But I think we may need to send him down. And in real life, that would very likely not happen because it's his retirement tour and everyone's just kind of paying tribute everywhere Miggy goes. But in the virtual world, we don't have to worry about upsetting the apple cart in such a way. So I may end up doing that. I can't imagine any team would claim him because of his contract and his performance, so he'd probably just go down to the minors. But we need to field the best team we can, and there's no reason to have him just sitting on the bench, quite literally taking up a spot where he'll play every few days, only play first base. There's no need for that. So I think otherwise we're pretty much good to go. So we'll have Winseal playing second. That works. And we are facing a lefty. So we have Andy Ibanez at third, and then Maton is playing left field. That's where I had to get creative in lieu of injuries to Harold Ramirez and Matt Vierling. So let's roll with this lineup. We are going to be playing the first 3 innings. It's interesting to see that the Royals have Bobby Witt Jr. hitting so low in the order when he kind of seems like he might be the second coming of George Brett, or at least certainly a promising prospect. Should have been keener to swing at that one. Good pitch though from Daniel Lynch. Good location. Maybe get an infield single here depending on Witt Jr. Nice play. Or I guess maybe that was... No, it was Witt Jr. I think, yeah. I have not scored a run in a while as a user. We had a game, maybe 3 or 4 games that we played ago, where we scored, I think, 11 runs against the Giants, and probably had, 3 or 4 in our couple of innings that we played. I've been pretty much silenced ever since. That cutter really floated in there. It looked like it was hovering almost. I'll stick with the inside fastball, and then I'll go to something else if I miss again. Well, depends on your definition of missed in describing what happened there. I didn't miss the zone, but I also would say that I missed putting that in a good spot. The Royals have a leadoff double. A lot of speed at second base right now. 96 stealing and 83 speed. Let's see if we can get a punch out here of Nicky Lopez. I'll try the circle change. I don't have a sinker, which has kind of been one of the strikeout pitches. But we did get a strikeout there anyways. The always dangerous Salvador Perez stands in. Got him with the circle change as well. So there's one hitter between us and working out of it, and as soon as I say that, there it goes. So 2 doubles, have the Royals on the board early. I'm interested to see where that cutter was. I don't think it was hung too much. Pretty good location, honestly. Alright, let's try and perform some damage control and get out of this with just 1 run allowed. I need to stop talking. As soon as I say that, it's a base hit. I don't know that Maton has a cannon out there in the left, so I'm not surprised he didn't throw him out. Yeah, Witt Jr.'s really struggling, coming in 186 as his average. So hopefully we can continue that trend. We'll get him on a pop out. But a bit of a rough first inning for Skubal there. One pitch, 1 out against Torkelson. Rogers is still hitting over 300, so figured we can give him playing time in lieu of that. Or I guess maybe we should say in light of that. Stung that one, but I think it's going to be caught. Yep. Maton has cooled off. He's under 300, although 299, so not exactly like he fell off a cliff. Couldn't check it there. We do get ball 4 eventually. See if we can't get one in the gap here. Well, we didn't. Grounded a third. That's the end of that. Quick strikeout of Hunter Dozier to start us off in the bottom of the second. MJ Melendez up now. He's like Eric Haas, one of those outfielders slash catchers. And he certainly doesn't fit the physical profile that you normally see in catchers. He's got some speed. Don't think he's much of a threat to steal, though. I'm going to go back to the circle change. It's been helping me out, and it seems like it might be doing so again. We get 5-4-3 double play to end the second. Let's see if we can get a rally going here. Had too many 1-2-3 innings at the plate. And so far today I've been chasing too many pitches. There we go. There's a base hit. I can certainly think about stealing. But I think I'm going to hold off given our deficit is 2 runs. Just see if we can't maybe work a walk here. There we go. Especially with Lynch missing the zone, I'm very reticent to bunt. Seems like it might just be a waste. I'm going to trust Neto. Yeah, Lynch is all over the zone now. Sit back on one, hope he hangs it. Oh, he certainly did. Needed to follow my own advice and actually sit back on it. And we work another walk. Bases loaded, nobody out for Riley Green. Man, got a great pitch to hit. I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna try it. Oh no. Disaster on the base pass. I got greedy. And all of a sudden, what looked to be a really promising inning has gone down the tubes. Until Javi Baez gives us our first user homer of the year to salvage my dignity. An absolute moonshot. I didn't even see where it went. I assume it was center based on the camera angle, but 442 feet. What a bomb. Just like that, we take the lead. Would have been nice if it was a grand slam, but I'll take it. Yeah, right center, into the fountain, I would imagine. Yeah, it didn't quite make it there. That's beautiful, though. Unsurprisingly, a very satisfying, no doubt home run animation. Torque gets into one, but Melendez is there. So we pay off all those walks, and Badu's leadoff single, despite the overly aggressive base running by me. Baez comes through. Alright, let's see if Skubal can get a shutdown inning. Here we go, good start. Nice little change up fastball combo. I'm going right back to the fastball, see if I can get another strikeout with it. I haven't used the curveball yet, so let's try it. There we go. Perez looks off balance for sure. I'm going to try the curveball again. He was way in front of that circle change. Got him. Good bounce back by Skubal. And our work, at least in terms of playing, is done. Let's see if we can tack on some more runs. A couple scoreless innings as we head into the middle innings. Skubal's energy looks good. Alright, he finishes it off. Looks like that was the end of the fireworks for the day. Baez ends up being the difference maker. Added another hit for good measure, a double. And 9 strong innings from Skubal, 10 strikeouts, no walks. Really good work. Alright, so finish off a brief road trip, 3-3. Fitting, given our 24-24 record overall. So our next game that we'll play will be with think we'll do Wilmer Flores. We're a bit out of order here. But I think what I'll do is I'll wait until Wilmer Flores' next game, which should be this last game against Texas. So we'll just finish off May. So let's simulate here. Okay, looks like we beat the White Sox in the first game and then dropped a couple. Neto and Baду both went deep. Torkelson's under the Mendoza line, so that's not ideal. But the bullpen, besides Will Vest, pretty much held up well, and Wentz pitched well. Looks like we just kind of lost this game straight up. And Flores didn't miss many bats. And I'm guessing somebody, Tyler Nevin with 2 homers. Wow. Yeah, Matt Manning struggled. Turnbull didn't pitch great. Yeah, all right, let's take a look at our scouting situation. So Weiss still seems to be firmly in that kind of middle zone. So I guess if he drops, we could maybe pick him up. But he's probably going to be beyond our draft slot. Greg Francis, we still seem to really like relative to everyone else. And David Park, he could be right in the middle there. So he'll be another one that we can think about. I do like his combination of power and speed. It is definitely enticing, but doesn't seem to have quite as much high-end potential as maybe we initially thought. So let's take a look elsewhere. I'm very happy about the possibility of JT Pritchett. Would love to get him. Vogel saying we only scouted briefly, but I think I'd be comfortable taking him if he fell to us as well. And Benitez, I like a lot too. I think his fielding's not the greatest, so might end up being a corner outfielder, but he's pretty fast and pretty good hitting stats across the board. So I do like Benitez. Let's see, we haven't really scouted Guillermo Gomez much, so he might be worth a look. And there's Zafala. Yeah, I don't think, kind of like Weiss, the guy we were looking at the beginning of this session, I don't think he'll be available for us, given that we like him a little less than the major leagues as a whole does, and they like him right about 12th. Valencia is probably worth a look here, especially with some really high potential on the top end, it seems. So I'm going to give Valencia a look. And let's see. Actually, let's... no, we'll move... Yeah. We'll move Valencia to number 1. And let's look at our top 100 prospects again. A lot of closers. I've already said my piece about that. Kyle Kennedy might be worth a look here. We looked at another catcher before and kind of came to the conclusion that he was not going to be a super high ceiling option. Lester Olson seems pretty well-rounded, and he could fall right in that 36-44 range. Wow. I know they're casting a wide net with that power potential, but Chris Perez seems like he could be a really special hitter. Yeah, Nick Weilman, that was a catcher we looked at before. Yeah, we don't, scouting-wise, seem to hate him or anything, but we don't like him as much as the rest of the league, so I'd say it's pretty unlikely he falls to us. Jim Dudek we really don't like relative to everyone else. Porter Ramirez. Looks like we are passing on that one. All right, and then we start to just get into the weeds a little bit here. Looks like David Reyes could be a decent option for maybe our 3rd round pick, given where he projects versus where we like him. And honestly, same with Charlton Garcia. Yeah, it seems like he could be a really good contact hitter. I want to go back to... I just want to take a look there. I want to go back to... No, let's go... Let's take another look at Perez. I want to take a closer look at Perez and just see. Because if those hitting numbers are even somewhat true, especially the high end, like the present power maybe being in the 70s, let's even say, then that is something to think about. Because that is a truly elite bat if everything is what it appears. So again, I'm really focusing on position players. We need an influx of positional talent. And it's not like our pitching is all set or anything, but I think we're in a much better spot pitching-wise than we are position player-wise. All right, so let's simulate through the end of this White Sox series and the beginning of the Rangers series. I screwed it up again. Golly. I gotta learn how to do that right. All right, so let's see what happened against the Rangers. Neto seems to be continuing his strong start. And I think pitched decently, and then Tyler Alexander had a bad inning, and that was that. We blanked the Rangers the day before. This would have been Wentz, complete game shutout. Impressive. Torkelson, Wentz, Seal both went deep. Looks like we got lit up, and this was probably Skubal, yeah. So really bad outing, was all over the strike zone, 6 walks. Not what you want to see. And I think this was death by 1,000 cuts here. Not great. Yeah, some pretty poor performances. White Sox seemingly finished the month pretty strong. They're right there with us now. Kind of all fighting in the basement against the Guardians, who are free and clear, seeming like the best team in the division. Alright, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep simulating. We're obviously skipping some more time than we have in the past year, but we're going to play Wilmer Flores' next start, so I'll simulate to this game. And this is just a mess. Yeah, bullpen failed us here. Looks like our defense did too, because we see a bunch of unearned runs towards the end of the game. Good to see Torkelson with 3 hits though. Yeah. Now what are you going to do? Let's look at the scouting. We don't need those. Phillies. I wonder if we'll see him. Yeah, it looks like our last game we'll see Andrew Painter. I think this would be oh my gosh, his 2nd career start. So guess we're keeping the same scouting. Quite literally, I accidentally pressed triangle and it just simmed us right through it. So we got swept against the White Sox, but 2 wins in a row against the Phillies to start that series. So that's solid on back-to-back complete game shutouts for Joey Wentz. When did he become Tom Glavine? That's amazing. And it looks like the offense came through in a big way. We had everyone but Andy Ibanez and Greg Jones with 2 hits at least. And Green had 3, Neto had 4. Bullpen seems like it was, could have been worse. I mean, certainly wasn't great, but what are you gonna do? And so now we're playing our last game of the Phillies series. Turnbull's on the mound. I'll just pitch with Turnbull. We'll just do that. It's fine. Let me see what we ended up doing scouting wise. I think we're sticking with those guys still, so that's fine. All right, let's play this one, and then we're getting pretty close to the draft. We're about a month away. You know what? I'm gonna have the Phillies wear these uniforms. See if we can pull off a sweep here. All right, we got a lot of tired legs, so that's fine. We can give plenty of people the day off. Green is on fire, so maybe we give him the DH spot. And Baez can sit this one out too. Tyler Nevin has an batting average of 643. 14 at bats, 4 homers. What's his OPS is off the charts. Wow, that is impressive stuff. I mean, this is putting Chris Shelton to shame for anybody who remembers that. My goodness gracious. All right, so let's get a little creative. McKinstry can play short. Nevin can play third. That's fine. Let's just do that. We got a righty on the mound, Andrew Painter. Much ballyhooed prospect. So, yeah, why not? I'll put Torkelson third. But Tyler Nevin can hit cleanup, that's fine. I mean, he's on pace to have the greatest season of any baseball player who's ever lived. So, what could go wrong? Yeah, whatever. That's fine. We'll roll with it. Phillies are having a good year. So, a sweep here would be big for us and a noticeable stain on their resume for sure. So we're facing Painter for his second start. Looks like his first start went pretty well. 6 innings, 2 runs. Beautiful scenery at Citizens Bank Park. Alright, so he's got a pretty standard repertoire of pitches. I would say dials it up a bit, but nothing crazy. I think I was a touch late on that one. Yeah, too late. Yeah, more than a touch, huh? Good to see Green heat up. I feel like I've hit well with him in the games that we've played. Curious to see with his A potential how much, if he does grow throughout the course of the year, in his overall rating. Chased a couple pitches there with him, so not exactly doing him justice. Oof, that was dead red. And thought it was going to get out of play, but Schwarber was able to track it down. So we go 1, 2, 3 in the top half. I'll pitch this inning with Turnbull and then skip ahead to the 5th, and we'll play the 5th and 6th. I think the White Sox have finally passed us, as we are now listed as 3rd in the Central, which makes sense because they took it to us a couple times in a couple weeks span. Don't love seeing Trey Turner get on base. I feel like he's already standing on second. Well, he is, but not because of a stolen base. You get Harper to flail at a sinker. check out the Phillies lineup. Looks like Castellanos is having a great start to the season. Saw Turner getting another lead beyond his initial one, so I'll keep an eye on that. Looks like he's staying, maybe not staying put, but at least not taking another lead here. Alright, so needed that strike. Try fastball. Oh, got him right down the middle. Tough one to take, but I feel like, and I don't know if the computer gets this way because they're not human, but I know I've found myself in that spot often where if a pitcher's missing out of the zone, and particularly if I'm maybe struggling at the plate, which Castellanos isn't, but regardless, I'm almost so eager to walk that I just take pitches that are right down the middle because I'm not exactly rearing to swing or to do anything and just hoping they kind of take care of it for me. Schwarber puts a charge into one, but certainly playable out there in center. And I think, so let me make a change real quick. Because I want to say that I think Wenceel Perez is playing center, which is not supposed to be the case. I don't know that I can make defensive changes while we're hitting. I guess not. So hold on, let's see. Yeah, so we shouldn't have that. So let's do this. Wenceel can play. Alright, this is interesting. So we're going to have to get a little bit creative. So let's... I don't know that it'll let us move these guys around, which is a bummer. Let me try it this way. Don't think I can make changes there. And what I want to do... Okay, I think I can do this. So let's go Greg Jones to center. Wenceel to short. And then McKinstry can play right. Wenceel can play short. Okay. So that's all good. I know sometimes I get so carried away with the versatility of our roster that I forget to make obvious changes that I need to make. So the Phillies get a run, but we answer with 3. Alright, so I'm going to sim to the 5th, and I'll play the 5th and 6th. Looks like Neto went deep in the 3rd. Painter already at 80 pitches. Oh, Neto went deep again. Yeah, he hung that slider and we jumped all over it. 2-homer game for our second baseman of the present, shortstop of the future. That was a tank. And I'll happily watch that one again. Only 376. But it got a no doubt animation, so it's all good in my book. Looks like we've been able to rough up Painter a bit. Certainly more than his first start. Another strikeout with Green. That was a perfectly located fastball up and in. remind myself to sit off speed and react to fastball. Because if I'm sitting fastball, the off speed gets me pretty much every time. Foul off a couple pitches that were just out of the zone. Tyler Nevin with his 687 average is on deck. Oh man. 3-2 slider was buried in the dirt, but it fooled me. Nevin's 2 for 2. Wow. We'll say if we just found the right-handed Barry Bonds and he was a 71 overall, C potential, just, oh my gosh, just toiling in the minor leagues, then I'll take it. Wow. Our second homer of the inning. Tyler Nevin's, I think, 5th homer this season, and he's played in like 5 games, I think. It really is just like Chris Shelton from 2006. For anyone who doesn't know, Chris Shelton in April of 2006 put together one of the best months in Major League Baseball history at the time. I mean, he hit, I think, like, I don't know, 12 or 13 homers or something. And bear in mind, it's very possible you have no idea who Chris Shelton is. He was this kind of just random, like, oh yeah, you know, sort of a throwaway prospect nobody thought much about. Came out, was one of the best hitters in the league, one of the best hitters of all time for a month, and then cooled off and basically was never really heard from again professionally. I think he might have had a cup of coffee here or there later in his career, but that was pretty much it. And funny thing about that team is that Tiger team ended up going all the way to the World Series, kind of came out of nowhere to win 95 games. Magical run. It all started with this player no one had heard of turning into Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, Barry Bonds, and then he wasn't even on the team by the end of the year. So, Tyler Nevin, I don't even know what to say, but if this is a Chris Shelton experience, I'm going to enjoy every minute. So we hit a 3-1 count to Harper from the get, so I'm just trying to stay in the zone here. Honestly, with a 5-1 lead, I'm not keen to give up a homer, but I also don't hate throwing a pitch in the zone and just making him hit it, and if he hits it, you know, that's fine. But I'd rather avoid the base runners if we can. Well, I guess we don't have to worry about it there because Castellanos made sure everyone was coming home. 110 off the bat, 413 feet. Just a missile. And we got the bat flip and everything. Alright. In 1 second, I'm going to check something. I don't think this is the case. Yeah, we're good. Alright, so Turnbull already at 91 pitches. I really need to get the pen going. Seems to be struggling a bit too. Not a lot of options, which is the world that we have made for ourselves here. We didn't have a great bullpen to start, and then we traded away our best reliever by far. So it's very patchwork. Let's hope and assume that Turnbull can at least get through this inning. And then we can make a decision on the 6th when we get there. We gotta get Jake Rogers some new gear. He's still got the generic stuff on. I'm sure we can pull some strings in the equipment department and make that happen. I gotta say though, this Phillies lineup is absolutely dangerous. I mean, you get through the meat of the order and then there's JT Realmuto hitting 6th. So Castellanos does his damage, answers the 2 homers that we hit. Let's see if we can't tack on some more. Yeah. Could not check my swing there. Really good pitch. I mean, was out of the zone, but just barely. Ooh. I think that one's gone. No, misread it. I'll still take the double, but I do smoke that one. 5th double of the year. It felt good off the bat. Looks like the wind is carrying out to, I don't know if it's carrying out to just right or, yeah, 6 miles an hour. I've seen a couple of fly balls that the Phillies have hit just hang up there and carry and carry and carry. But we got something cooking here in the 6th. Oof, man. They are serving up some meaty breaking pitches. Missed that one. And missed another one. The splitter. So let's see if Greg Jones, who looks like he homered earlier in the game as well, see if he can come through. And Homer's flying out all over the place. Oh man, felt like I read that splitter well, but swing and a miss ends the inning. All right, I'm gonna try and get Turnbull through this hitter, and then we'll reevaluate after. We get Stott. Quick ground out 2 helps. All right, I'm gonna try to get Sosa. His energy is just now dipping into the yellow, so I don't want to push it too far. Nice. That's perfectly located. Alright. 3-2 to Marsh. I think what I'll try to do is I'll see if I can get him out, and if I walk him or he gets a hit or whatever, then I'll be done with Turnbull. So, yeah, Turnbull's day is done. Heart of the order's coming up. Not a lot of great options here. So Jason Shreve has worked himself into someone with a really nice statistical portfolio. I mean, he had like a 12 ERA a good chunk into April, so impressive stuff there. See if he can work some magic and get Turner out. He cannot. And in fact, Turner may have just tied the game, and he did. So, the 2-out walks will kill you. I mean, I know it's a cliche that you hear as frequently as the day is long, but in this case, it's very true. We get out of it, but not before the Phillies tie it up. This would be a tough one to squander a 5-1 lead heading towards a sweep. But we'll see what we can do in this late inning tie game situation. Yeah, I'm not thrilled about Shreve continuing to pitch, so I'm going to bring in Matt Manning. See if he can give us some innings. Success so far, and that's the end of that. I think Manning, especially when he pitches multi-inning appearances, he's pretty much always good for about a run. So there you have it. Tough one. Really tough one. The bats absolutely delivered. Tyler Nevin went 4 for 4 with a double and then the homer that we saw. Oh my goodness gracious. He's hitting .722. I really don't know what to say. I will say though, I'm very excited to look at his statistical profile right now and see what his OPS is. I don't know that I've ever seen an OPS in the threes, but he might be in the threes actually. Let's see. No, still two. Only 2.417. Wow. In 5 games, he has 5 homers, 18 at-bats, 5 homers, 13 hits. He also has 2 doubles. So in 7 of his 18 at-bats, he's gotten an extra base hit. It's just staggering. I mean, Jake Rogers is having a pretty good season. He's hitting .291. And he's gone up to bat almost 80 times. They have the same amount of total bases. They both have 30. It's just incredible. It really is. I don't know how long it'll continue, but I am amazed for sure. All right, let's keep it rolling here. Mize seems to be running into some injury issues. He was just hurt for a couple of days, came back and got hurt again, I guess. And yeah, we had a rough couple of games against the Diamondbacks. Skubal has really struggled recently. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what to do or say. But let's take a look at the scouting. Alright, so looks like in the case of pretty much all these guys, we are less bullish on them than the rest of the majors is. For only being 18, I do like Perez's hitting profile, so I'll keep him in mind for our 44th pick. But Valencia, I don't know. He's fast. He can play all over the infield, so that's nice. And Kennedy seems like he's decent, but it doesn't seem like we're seeing anything that would really knock your socks off. So let's keep looking. Let's keep mining. See if we can find somebody in these later rounds who really jumps off the screen. I might try McCann here, just as another position player, another Wisconsin guy. Like I said, it's become near and dear to me as of late in my life. Let's see. Kind of already know what the deal is here. There's a ton of starting pitchers that we haven't looked much at, but we know they exist. Haven't discovered many sleepers in terms of guys that we're way more in on than the rest of the league is. I'll check out Rivera, though, in this regard. So, I screwed that up. Let's look at... Yeah, these are recommended. I'm going to go find Rivera, starting pitcher, and let's scout him. And then, let's see what they recommend. Yeah, I'm not interested really in the parade of relief pitchers. Henry Villanueva's got a really interesting split. Not only in his potential, but also his overall. He could be a 39 or could be a 73, super small. But it seems like he might be like Omar Vizquel in the field. Bartolo Francisco. I'm noticing a lot of speed, which is cool. It's totally something that I want to add across the board to our organization. Scott Suarez is a lot older. He's already 23. But could be kind of a play now sort of guy. Or at least play soon. Dusty Pedroza. Wow. That's impressive. I want to take a look at him and just see. Alright. That's all good. I believe it is time for me to play with Reese Olson. So let's keep on simming. Good to see Mize is back. We did salvage a game against the Diamondbacks as well. Wentz did not throw a complete game shutout. I don't know what his problem was. We still won, and then had a comeback victory over the Braves. That's cool. Jake Rogers went deep twice. Torkelson's up to 228, so he's starting to hit. Then we lost tight one to the Braves. Pitched well. Really can't ask for a lot more. Tyler Nevin is all the way down to 520. So let's just take a quick look at where we're at, where everyone else is slotting into. So Torkelson, I want to say he started the year at 77, went down to 76, now he's back to 77. So he's been hitting well. Baez is up to 81, I think he was 80. He's had a good year. Yeah, I mean, it's been worth almost 1.5 wins. Getting on base a good amount more than he was last year. Homer pace, he's on pace to well exceed his figure of 17 from last year. So that's good to see. As much as we may want Baez to take his contract elsewhere, it's a good thing for us if he is a good player. Riley Green's been good. A touch under 260. He's gained a point overall in rating too. Neto has as well since he came over. He's been hitting really well. Almost worth 2 wins above replacement. Maton has continued to hit. Looks like he lost a point. I think he's been struggling for a little while, but still, OBP 376, OPS 821. I'll take that all day. Haas kind of is what he is. Badu's been decent. Curious to see what his WAR is. Yeah, not the greatest, but he's been fine. Perez still been pretty good. Solid. I think he has some staying power. Vierling, hopefully he'll be back sometime soon. He's in an interesting spot with his contract because he's on a minimum right now, but he's a free agent right away. so no arbitration. You know, I said it before, but I really do need to just probably waive Cabrera and get it over with. Zach McKinstry continues to hit. 84 at bats. He's hitting 333. I think what we need to do right now, honestly, is make some tweaks in our starting lineup. I think we should make McKinstry a starter. I think he has earned that privilege with the way that he is hit. And I think in both cases, with Ibanez and with Greg Jones, we're putting somebody in who is a potential like market improvement over what we've been getting. And you know, I don't know that McKinstry will continue to hit 333 if he is getting a ton more at bats, but we got to try it. It's not like Ibanez or Jones have the track record to say, oh no, we got to leave those guys in. You know, they've proven it. They've proven nothing. So we might as well let McKinstry hit. I'm tempted to also try that with Nevin too. I mean, just he got off to such a torrid start. And he's showing so much power too that it's hard not to kind of let that ride. So I think I'm going to try that too. I think I'll let Nevin DH against lefties. And righties, why not? We'll give Wenzel kind of some quote-unquote bench minutes, to use a basketball term. And then what I'm also going to do is it's time for Cabrera to go down. I'm going to put him on waivers. I'm guessing he's going to clear, just because I can't imagine anyone wants a $31 million, almost 40-year-old first baseman who's hitting under 200, but he's not playing. He's just sitting on the bench, and there's no reason for him to be there if that's going to be the case. Colt Keith seems to be doing really well in AAA, which is really nice to see. He's gained 2 points of rating since the beginning of the year. And elsewhere, not a ton going on throughout the infield. I do want to call up another pitcher, though. Ty Madden, pitching well. So I'm tempted to leave him. And Povich seems to be pitching well in addition to that, so that's cool. We've already got Flores up here, and he's been okay, but struggling a bit. So, I don't know, maybe I bring up Matt Boyd as a bullpen arm. He's on our team anyway, like he's on the organizational's payroll anyway, so. Because I don't want to stunt the development of any of these younger guys. I want to keep giving them consistent starting pitching experience. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Let's add Boyd to the 40-man. Bring him up. He can pitch. And I don't think that he's going to necessarily be a panacea for all that ails our bullpen, but he's one of the better arms that we have in the organization in that role. And I want to give all these guys continued starting experience and keep kind of building up that backbone of our future rotation. So real quick, let's just look through the other positions. Baez has been good, as we noted, so has Neto. So that's cool to see. And it looks like, yeah, that's just our team. Check out the standings. The Guardians, man. Wow. One of the best teams in the league. Rangers have kind of established themselves as well. Orioles playing really well. Dodgers, no surprise. NL Central's a mess. And the Phillies are holding off the Braves, so. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again soon. Take care.